Hey, how's it going? I'm Alex, and today we're gonna build our first terrarium, or terrarium, terracotta, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna build our first today. The thing about this one is that I got two different kits. You don't have to get a kit, by the way. You don't have to get a terrarium kit. You only have to get the what is called like the bottle or the jar. But you don't have to get everything like I did. What you can do, you can actually get everything from like a creek, from like a park, from your garden, things like that. Because basically, what you're gonna need is some soil, some sand or clay, some stones if you want, and then you're gonna just like keep like building up as much as you wanted with some plants, some like succulent, like a bonsai, like some trees or something like that, and make sure that you have a good one like this one that this brand sent to me for this video. The other thing you're gonna do, so this is a small kit I had, and that's a big one, which actually that one comes with its own jar, its own bottle, but I'm not gonna use that one because it's for open air plants. It's not gonna be enclosed, it's gonna have a light and everything, but it's gonna be open. This one actually is closed, and it comes with a filter right here, as well as the light. The filters are right here, sorry, and as well as the light right here, that is gonna keep it closed, but it also is gonna keep it, let me show you, just like this. So that is really cool, and you can actually dim the lights just like this and just make it to be a little bit stronger as well if you want. So that's going to be really good for taking care of that plant if you want. But this one also can be for betta fish. That's going to be, you're going to fill it up with water and everything, and the betta fish, that sometimes they need to be alone, that can be like pairs. So this one can be also for that. But today, on this 10-inch jar or bottle, we're going to actually build our first terrarium. So this is the small kit I got. I got this one because I want to try it out and see how it goes with a small one. It has kind of like a ton of things that you're going to use. For example, the soil, the sand, the stones, the pebble, the gravel, some tools as well, and even some like juicy juice for the succulentas if you're going to put some succulentas. So take that into account that this is the small one. But then this is going to be the big one. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mix up those two. I'm going to actually mix them up and see which one can be better, which one can be like more kind of like, I don't know, I want to say like convenient for your terrarium or something like that. But I'm going to just like be mixing both of them to take into account that is the big one. By the way, this is basically how you should try to do your first terrarium. You're just going to put some gravel, then some sand or clay, the potting soil, the moss, and then the stones and the plants that you're going to, plants of your choice actually. Okay, so as I told you before, I'm going to be mixing up the things from the small one and the big one, and this is our terrarium that they sent to us. What we're going to do right now is going to mix some of that gravel. I have the white gravel here, and I have the regular gravel here. So I'm going to be mixing them both. I think I'm going to kind of like put all both together, but this is going to be kind of like the first one. So we're going to go this way, just like this, and then we're going to go this way. Okay, so that's gonna be kind of like the first mix. I'm gonna try to make sure that I'm mixing them as much as I want. Okay, that's gonna be kind of like the first set of moisture, or the first set of like the base. Okay, I have a little bit of an accident with the sand, but we're all set and good together back again. We're gonna mix both the sand and the other kind of like pebbles that I had. So we're gonna make sure, and for this, we're gonna use one of the tools. We're gonna kind of like put layers, that's what we wanna do with this. We wanna put some layers. So we're gonna do that first. And then we're gonna put our potting soil, this is the one that is gonna have all the nutrients, all the organic stuff that we want for our plants. I'm gonna actually mix this too. This is way too much, so I'm gonna mix the other one that I had over here, which is a little bit more black, it has more richness in kind of like the type of nutrients that we may want. So I'm gonna mix those two, and this is already going too tall. Like I didn't want this to be this tall, but this is like a 10-inch, as I was just saying before. So it had a lot of space and a lot of room, but this is already going taller than I wanted. So we're gonna just make sure that we have that layer, that two layers too. And then we're gonna put the moss. So for the moss, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build up first with the one on the big one, because I wanna make sure that I have kind of like pieces, you know. I want this one to be the first layer, which is gonna be kind of like, I'm gonna push it a little bit just to make sure that I get as much as I can right here. But then I'm gonna add these colorful ones from the other kit, you know. I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna put it kind of like in the corners, just like this. It's gonna be kind of like one that is gonna build up in colors. So I'm gonna put this moss over here, and then we're gonna kind of like spray this to make it be more with some humidity, you know, because that's what we need. That's what we want in our terrarium with the light. We want some humidity. Okay, and last but not least, the one that I was kind of like waiting for, we're gonna put this one over here. This may be too big actually. I'll try to see if I can put it right here in the corner. And the last one is gonna be this kind of like white stones that I really, really like. I do like this one. So I'm gonna try to build it up just like this way and put some over here as well. And this is where my plant is gonna be. My plant is gonna be in this corner. So that's why I'm trying to kind of like build it this way. And not to be, I don't want it to be like super crowded, you know? I mean, it's already getting more crowded than I wanted. So the last piece, we're gonna put a crystal that comes with the small kit. So that crystal is gonna go over there. And then we have another tiny crystal that's gonna be over here. So this actual tool comes with the big one. And this is the last thing that we're gonna do before looking at our plan, but I'm not gonna get my plan right now. I'm gonna actually look for that another day, so it's not gonna be on this video. That may have been too much. We're gonna make sure that our kind of like moss is nice and wet over there. And then we're gonna put this over here. Once that we get our plant over there, of course. And this, remember, that also comes with a timer. So we wanna use the timer, we can do it as well. And that's it. We have our first terrarium built. That is so awesome. So remember, you don't have to get a kit, but if you want to kind of like simplify things, you get those kits recommendations that I gave you. And then we're going to look for our plant, but this is it. This terrarium over here, 10 inches with the light, with everything you need, and then get a kit or get in hunting for those nice things that you want to put in your terrarium. This is really, really good. With the filter, with the light, with the timer, with the dimmable light, and this thing is going to be my new hobby.